Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Empower Her Voices. I'm your host Faiza, and today's episode is all about helping and understanding the basic learning difficulties that our children face while they're at school or at home. This episode is actually going to help parents understand that why a child may appear to be struggling academically, what are the learning difficulties, and how they show up in our classrooms. So, this is going to help the parents and the families, and specifically the schools, to understand the unique learning needs of a child with empathy and early intervention. And for this, we have an amazing guest with us who is a seasoned educationist with more than 18 years of experience in the field of education. And she has served in multiple leadership roles, starting from different top tier school systems, including Beacon House School System, where she has served, started as a teacher, had an early exposure and expertise in IB, and then as a teacher, further elevating towards a manager and a coordinator. And she has served as the principal with Sourcetime School System. And currently, she is the manager of early years in the head office of NACAS, where she's responsible for the curriculum development. And there's a lot that she's going to share. Her core expertise and her experience actually revolves around understanding the learning needs of a child, what actually is the capacity building when it comes to the teacher development. It actually comes up with a wholesome thing which is required at a school, and she's such a passionate educationist that I'm also a witness to her passion for education and her empathy towards the parents and the students, and the way that she's doing the counseling when it comes to any difficulty, may it be for the teachers, students, or the parents. So we have Ms. Sidra Ibad with us. Thank you, Ms. Sidra Ibad, for actually accepting the invite and for being here with us.
Assalamu alaikum, Faiza. How are you?
Yes,
Tha-
I'm perfectly fine.
Thank you so much for your kind introduction. I'm overwhelmed and I am deeply humbled. Um, this topic is really close to my heart because I genuinely enjoy supporting children with diverse learning needs and helping them thrive emotionally and academically is my actually core point of working in this situation. So, other than that, yes, please go ahead with your program. And thank you so much once again for having me here.
Likewise, Mr. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Before that we proceed further, we would really like to know your journey, because you have started as a teacher and then further an elevation from a teacher to a coordinator, coordinator to a head, and now you're sitting in a head office of a large group system where you're looking after the curriculum development, and there's a lot. So, just walk us through this journey and then your interest, your experience and your exposure towards this learning difficulty needs when it comes to different students.
Okay, thank you so much. So I started as an earliest teacher, and teaching earliest was a real fun. It's treat to a
Mhm.
teacher, I guess. I still feel that whenever I enter in the earliest section at this stage as well, while visiting the schools, I enter to the earliest section. It gives me another life, and they are so pure. They are so lively,
True.
and you don't they are so spontaneous. That's why I enjoy working with them.
Mm.
And they feel so safe and comfortable in your presence, so that gives you additional confidence in the beginning of the journey. Especially that confidence is required. So after earlier, primary learners are nice and understanding and disciplined, and when we move towards the middle school, middle school learners are more like friends to us. But at the same times, it is a very challenging stage. For example,
True.
identifying their emotional and physical issues, uh,
Mm.
challenges. We should be extra careful. We should be extra vigilant about that, because they at the same time they are having friendship shift and identity crisis,
Mm.
and moving
True.
towards adolescent puberty hits them, physical
Mm.
changes. And at that point of time, sometimes I feel that other than academics, we have to focus on other things as well, which directly affect them. So,
True.
okay. So, these are the things which actually affect them. And at that point
Hmm.
of time, I feel role of a teacher is more than a teacher or just academic concerns. We need to focus on other things as well. And at that time, school should work as a community, like close
Hmm.
bonding with the parents, and one-on-one sessions with the students are very important.
True, very well said. Miss Sidra, the best thing for the viewers about Miss Sidra is obviously she's a very passionate educationist, but she always believes in this involvement of the community when it comes to school. And in her previous experience with different institutions, she has truly implemented whatever she's saying right now. That's why there's this. You can feel it actually when she's expressing that how important this community involvement is to take students when it comes to the holistic development. It's very important. So Ms. Sidra, you have worked in various leadership roles in which you have headed the institution with early primary middle school. So they are different academically. Students are struggling at times, right? So what are the early signs that the parents should notice that, oh, okay, so my child has a learning difficulty right now, which I should take notice of, or which I should take help from the school? What are those signs?
All right. Thank you so much, Faiza, for putting this point in this conversation. Actually, academic struggle appears gradually. Okay, and
Okay.
it's very obvious, and it appears gradually. It You can assess academic struggle through their notebook work, copy work, verbal
Hmm.
expression, and stuff like that. But when it
Hmm.
comes to the difficulty, when child has some behavior issues and difficulty in other way, so
Hmm.
that thing, for that we need to check the indicators first. And
Okay.
indicators, it's not a rocket science, it's not something
Hmm.
really difficult. But please,
Hmm.
I would request all the parents to monitor your child. Like, if your child is uh, walking on a tiptoes, if your child is
Okay.
fidgeting with the fingers all the time, if child is not having enough eye contact, and in front of the strangers child is not initiating the conversation, although that child is like 7 years old or 8 years old, but
Hmm.
never initiated a conversation. And if sometimes it's actually, there are different domains. For example, behavior
Hmm.
indicators are different, cognitive and communication signs are different, and social
Hmm.
emotional cues are different, which
Okay.
I just mentioned. That child likes to play independently, actually play alone, not along with the siblings or cousins or other friends.
Yeah.
So physical routines and few signs that they are very sensitive towards some specific textures of the food, of clothing.
Hmm.
These are the
Hmm.
things which we need to check, that why this child is only having puree at the age of 9, why this
Yeah.
child has this. It's not normal. At this
Hmm.
stage, the basic thing, actually we need to focus on the self management skill. Actually, we should make
Hmm.
them independent. We feel that if we are spoon feeding them, we are always available for for our kid,
Hmm.
that is good. No, sometimes it's not good. Stepping back, staying behind, just monitoring your child is enough. Sit inside the
Hmm.
car, give some amount of money to your child, send your child to the shop, let him struggle. अगर उसकी height counter तक नहीं जा रही, let him struggle,
Hmm.
let him ask for
Hmm.
help. If too many adults are standing in a
Hmm.
row, let him manage all these things. So if you are always available for your child, then how your child is going to learn about basic lifelong skills? So
Great.
these are the signs which I feel, that there are multiple signs. There is no, I think, no one formula for all these things. That's
Okay.
why I always tell parents
Hmm.
to go and um, make your child assess by the professionals, because I
Hmm.
am nobody to tell them on the seat of a principal or a school head. I'm no one to tell them about the issues and challenges your child is facing. So go and professionally make them assessed by a psychologist or psychiatrist and
Hmm.
then come back to me. So we face other step and other challenges after that, so I will share those challenges later on with you. But these are the indicators, especially
Hmm.
when child is unable to follow multiple steps, like pick water bottle from the left corner and then go to the rack or cubby hole, grab a pencil holder from there and come back to me. So if a
Hmm.
child is not following multiple instructions, more than two
Hmm.
instructions, sometimes faces difficulty in one instruction, so this is alarming. If too
Okay.
many instructions are coming from the parents and child is still
Hmm.
confused, go and pick up the phone, go and pick up the phone, say hello on the phone, say hello on the phone. So please try to understand that there is an issue. So um,
Hmm.
I can just highlight few indicators. बहुत सारे ऐसे होते हैं जिन पे हम टाइम टू टाइम बात कर सकते हैं.
No, this is like very helpful, advice from your side. And in fact, there are a couple of things which are new for me as well. So it's a learning, and especially the way you have said that we really need our kids to be independent at times, so that later in their life they can survive. So this is some. This is like most of the. This is one of the most important point being here in Pakistan, where generally parents feel that the child should always be dependent on them. So this is something that the parents also need to understand. So while talking about what actually the basic understanding of the parent, at times the parents are saying that, okay, fine, so my son or my daughter takes interest in maths, however, she or he is not that good in English, but then they label it as a actual learning difficulty, which means he might be good in something, but he might not be good in the other thing. So how they can actually differentiate when it comes to pure academics? Well, now we're talking about different subjects being taught in the school. That okay, so this is the actual learning difficulty, and this is the other one, the slow learning difficulty. How they can differentiate between this?
Um, Faiza, what I do believe, slow learners have difficulty in specific concepts, in specific subjects, in few areas. But if the
Okay.
child has learning difficulty, actual learning difficulty, so that child
Okay.
might lag in all the areas, all the academic areas.
Oh.
Sometimes, like physical PE lessons, sometimes in music
Okay.
lessons. So it depends. It's not like that the child will lag in all the 7 to 8 areas, but most of them.
Okay.
So it can be
Right.
identified easily. If a child has a
Right.
communication issue, that will
Hmm.
directly affect the academics of the child. So first we
Okay.
need to work on the learning disabilities, and then we need to
Hmm.
focus on academics. That is the last thing we need to work on, or
Okay.
we need to be worried about, being a parent
Hmm.
and being the
Right.
educator. We need to work on the skills, core values skills, self management skill, their confidence, communication, their
Hmm.
thinking skills, how they approaches to learning. So we need to work
Hmm.
on these things in the beginning. And what I truly feel, sometimes there is nothing in the background. For example, a teacher came to me and she said that this child is very careless, he never learned the test and he's not responding me back, he's so stubborn, he's not responding me, he's just looking at me, and he's
Hmm.
not doing his notebook work and stuff like that. And today in the quiz, when I wrote a question on the whiteboard and he did not bother to respond. I went to the classroom, I observed the child, and within 4 minutes, I identified that the child has a major eyesight issue, which is not
Oh.
identified by the parent, by the teacher, anyone. So, if child
Hmm.
can't see the board, how do you expect that that child will
Hmm.
reply back or respond according to the teacher's need? So,
Hmm.
sometimes there is no issue, but
Hmm.
that that looks like it's a huge one.
Yeah, very, very, well said. So, taking it further, because you just said that it was, in this example, the child has eyesight issue. It was not linked to any learning difficulty or any actual learning difficulty. So, there are number of misconceptions in our society, particularly in Pakistan, when it comes to schools or when it comes to the parental community. So, what do you think as an educationist are the most common misconceptions that you have heard from the parents when it comes to learning difficulties?
All right. So the first thing first, what I truly believe that we need to look our children holistically rather than just
Hmm.
focusing on grades. And
Hmm.
in
True.
our Pakistani parents, yes, I want to respond back. I really want to respond back on this question because still they are the first thing is denial. They are always in denial.
True.
The child step inside my office and I identified the issue and they are saying, no, this child is just careless, he's not focusing, he's too much in games. Actually,
Hmm.
he's the youngest among the family, that's why it happened. Or the second thing is blame game. Like I live in a joint family, and my grandparents are spoiling the child, and we try to monitor their eating habits, but they always come up with chocolates and sugar intake that makes them hyper. But they are blaming, they are
Hmm.
denying, they are saying everything is fine, he's super intelligent, he's not just focusing on the things and stuff like that. And the last thing, very few parents come to that point that they will make their child check from the proper professionals, but
Wow.
they have a fear that if something identified, that will be a stigma. So
Hmm.
these are the challenges which I feel and I have seen in the parents. And because because if you go for a blood test, only then
Hmm.
that lab person can identify that you have uh, short of white blood cells in your body or
Hmm.
you have these certain allergies. I'm no one to tell you about that. Only
Hmm.
proper laboratory check will tell you about the blood
Hmm.
situation of your body. So once
True.
the problem is identified, afterwards we will be able to cure, or while working in a community we would be able to figure out the solutions, or we can work on the personality or the further steps uh, which should be taken for the child. So that's what I
True.
feel, that the basic assessment is very much needed, and
Hmm.
that's what they avoid in the beginning.
Yes, regarding the misconceptions, yes, the this denial aspect of denial is very common and being shared by almost all educationists that this needs to be dealt at the first point. So, now like from your experience, as you've already mentioned, coming from the early years to the middle school, so with particularly the students who are actually facing these learning difficulties, what strategies have actually helped you to support those kids at school?
All right. So, Pfizer, there are two different types of schools. So, one are the top tier schools like IB World schools, and I want to name them American
Mm,
schools, different other schools who are actually offering this
mm,
kind of department. They have proper SEND department, they are
yeah,
providing trained shadow teachers, and actually uh, they are actually practicing it by learning, by educating the shadow teachers, and then the
mm,
children are in safe hand. But those
true,
schools are very expensive. What I
yeah,
truly believe, what if some child with special needs born in a mediocre class family, or
mm,
below the poverty line, or you can say
mm,
in a very humble family, then
humble,
uh, then then what is the
mm,
uh, cure? Because
true,
teaching them is very expensive. They have good
mm,
sense homes. They have good tricks and tools for everything. They have proper
mm,
guidelines. They have some rules that you
true,
cannot touch or hit the student,
sure,
even in worst scenario. But what
Hmm.
happens here, few schools are allowing shadow teacher to walk inside, but they are not trained. So proper monitoring,
Hmm.
if you are allowing, the administrator should proper monitor the shadow teacher. Is she tackling the learner in a right way or not? Because some people
Hmm.
prefer sending maids along with the child. So that's not, if the if maid is holding the hand of a child throughout the day,
Hmm.
then what is that child learning? That
Hmm.
child is
True.
learning nothing. So
Nothing.
our major goal, and even in my previous school, thank God, they were not focusing on the business. कि बच्चों को
Hmm.
आने दो, we will manage. No, if we are unable to cater them, if we are unable to provide them proper support where it is required, then there is no purpose
Hmm.
of taking them on board. So
True.
at
True.
that situation, we always prefer and send them to the special departments and institutes. But
Hmm.
if it is a minor autism and minor
Hmm.
ADHD, level one, level two, we can manage in our school. And
Hmm.
you know, uh, there. We need to be very observant regarding that, because
Hmm.
all the signs are not very obvious. Sometimes there are some hidden signs, and we have to monitor them and cater them accordingly.
So there are hidden signs, and for that, I truly agree with you that being sending them to an expert, to a professional where they have proper environment and resources, something very important. Thank you, Ms. Sidra. Though one episode is not enough for this important topic, in which there are a couple of things which are very crucial and sensitive, especially for our generation.
Yes.
But you have you, yeah, please.
Okay, sorry. I just want to mention one more thing over here.
Ji,
We
sure.
talked about the learners with special needs. We talked
Hmm.
about the learners who are very much normal, but still they have different learning styles. So
True.
every teacher, every parent should understand that there are 3 to 4 types of learning styles. Like some are auditory learners, some are visual learners, some
Hmm.
are kinesthetic learner. Some learn
True.
by doing, some learn by seeing that, some learn by hearing
Yes.
that. I
True.
feel I am a visual learner. I watch movie and I understand and learn everything instead of
Hmm.
reading a book. So try to identify the learning style of a student. That is very important.
Hmm.
I truly believe that every child is unique. Every child is like, every child has some special abilities in them. Try
True.
to
True.
identify them. And
True.
that's what I actually like to say. And I truly appreciate those schools who are working in a form of community, and they are, setting up coffee mornings. They are very much in contact with the parents all the time, and parents are taking it very positively, because it's also very important. Most
Hmm.
asked question is from the parents on the PTM is this: I sent my child to the school, and school is not, still that child is facing difficulty in academics. What is the school doing? For God's sake, school, your child is there for 5 hours. Your child
Yeah.
was with you with 19 hours. You are responsible
Hmm.
of sleep
True.
issues and food issues and stuff like that, and the
Yes.
home
Yeah.
environment issues. So
True.
please continue with your next
No, no,
thing.
I agree with
I
you
think
because
it's a never-ending
parents.
topic.
No, yeah, yeah, I truly agree with you, and will definitely have more, because this is something that the parents and the educators both need to understand. But without the help of the parents, educators alone obviously cannot do anything. Parents also need to cooperate. As you have already said that a child is spending 19 hours with the parent and 5 to 6 hours at the school, so the difference is quite clear. But the impact is obviously long lasting when it comes to a good schooling. So, for the parents specifically, Mr. Gra, before that we wrap up, so we would like to have this last bit from your side, though there's a prayer trove in this short time that you have shared for the educators and the parents, and I'm sure that the parents and the educators are going to view this. This is going to be helpful for you, and even if you're going to pick one thing and can start implementing, like the learning styles that Mrs. has mentioned, the signs, the early signs of child who's struggling with learning difficulty, if you're going to observe that, it is going to help you. So for the parents, Nasidra, who are worried or overwhelmed, for the children who are actually suffering with the learning difficulties, what message do you have for them? Because at times they are facing anxiety as well because of their child's certain pattern or condition.
True, Faiza, this is the most important thing because if you have a challenged learner or child in your family, it actually affects the mental health of a mother and a father and all the family members. It is easily, I can see on the face of the mother and father whenever I meet parents of challenged learners. So I think they also need therapy. I think they also suffering and holding a lot in them. Our social pressures, in-laws pressures, sometimes not only in-laws, family pressures from both sides. Comparison, lots of comparison between the cousins and friends and siblings. Okay, and at that point of time, I think parents also need some kind of therapy. बहुत ज्यादा एकदम से वो लोग नजर आ रहे होते हैं कि वो बहुत परेशान है, और कभी हम उनको हेल्प नहीं कर पाते क्योंकि हमारे स्कूल उस तरह से सेंसरी रूम्स और चीज़ों के थ्रू एक्वेंटेड नहीं होता। तो उस वक्त उनको कहीं और भेजना, और अगर वो इतना एडिशनल अमाउंट ऑफ मनी अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते तो हमारे लिए बहुत ज़्यादा एक डिस्टर्बिंग चीज़ होती है कि क्या करें ऐसा कि इनको सपोर्ट मिल जाए किसी तरह। तो ऐसी बहुत सी चीज़ें हैं जो मैं सोचती हूँ कि हमारे पेरेंट्स को, पाकिस्तान के पेरेंट्स को, हम आई विश कि कोई ऐसा इदारा बना सकें जिसमें इतना ज़्यादा फाइनेंसेस का इशू ना हो और इन बच्चों को मैनेज किया जा सके बड़े अच्छे तरीके से। और what I believe that every child is unique. They are not meant to follow someone's timeline. So please do not compare them with others. So instead of comparing them, try to understand their learning style, their emotional needs, and their pace, where they seek support, collaborate with teachers all the time. There is absolutely no shame in asking for help. There is, actually, there is a strength in it. There is no shame in it. And children actually, they don't need perfect parents. Honestly, they don't need perfect parents. They need patient, observant, emotionally available parents who believe in their ability. That's what they want. That's all.
Wow, what a beautiful message, and the way you wrapped up that kids need emotionally available parents, not perfect parents. Thank you so much, Ms. Sidra, for your time and for the valuable wisdom and advice that you have shared. For the audience, as Mr. said, that every child is unique, and being a parent, you don't need to perfect, you just need to be emotionally available. So thank you so much for watching this episode. See you again with another inspiring episode. Till then, take care.